So this is my Hatchhyack Endless Combo Tragedy Overground deck, or Hatchhyack Endless Tragedy. So, one copy of the leader, 4 Oceanus Shenron Negative Energy Explosion, 4 Sin Shenron Negative Energy Explosion, 4 Black Mustang Splintering Mind, 4 Deadly Defender Son Goku, 4 Dr. Leche, The Departed Spirit, 4 Goku Making an Entrance, 4 Goku The Adventure Begins, 4 4-Star Ball, 4 Power Burst, 4 Protector of the People, 4 Senzu Bean, 4 Whis Cohesion, 4 Tragedy Overground, 4 Radish Giant Force, and 4 SS4 Broly Prismatic Burst. So, my previous Tragedy Overground Hatchhyack deck, some people had some suggestions, if you want to call it that. So, I created this version for the ones who needed more in the build. One, they needed less blue in the build, so of course I toned it back, pulled back on the blue, so we only have 16 blue sources. I was going to cut it down to 12, but ended up not doing so because I wanted power. I wanted to add power of the people. Because originally I was gonna take Senzu Bean out and put power of the people, and then put like a black battle card or something. But then I changed my mind. I was like, no, I better keep both. So I kept it at least 16. You only need 4 blue to play Tragedy Overground. 4 blue and then 5 black energy, right? So minimum 4 blue just to be able to play Tragedy. Everything else just 1 blue, 3 blue. But then everything else is black. I cut down the unisons, of course. I kept the main unison, Raditz. Took out all the other utility and tech unisons. So I kept the Raditz because double blocking is always good. Plus his removal ability, plus his draw ability. So he's 19k. He has that use of being useful to block a leader in 15k or less unisons to keep them at bay, and then all your negates and blockers will be used against your opponent's, battle cards, right? And then, I was looking at some of the new cards from Anniversary Box and Set 15 to see if there's any new stuff I can play around with that I would like to use, and this stood out because it has the -1 ability to let you choose one of your opponent's battle cards with energy cost greater than their energy cost and send it to their own warp. So this is obviously good against decks like Dark Broly, any deck that the Arrivals, or does fusion union fusions and stuff like that, like Gogeta's and stuff like that. So this would be really good against decks like that. Definitely good against any deck that tries to play anything 7 cost and higher, so that way you can bypass my leader's effect. I can use this to remove them. So it's nice. It's a stronger version of what's her name? Toa. Toa does 3 costs or less and warps, which doesn't hit too many things, but it's still worth something, right? But this can hit bigger things, which is great. So it's a great move card. I mean, we still have a way to generically remove something big with Splintering Mind, Black Mustang Splintering Mind, so that's still a thing there. But it is nice that this has the added ability. And it only requires just, -1 marker for that. Then it has the auto of when your leader is attacked. Not a black leader, yellow leader, whatever, right? Just a leader in general, right? So this can be splashed in any other deck. This definitely would be useful in Bulma. Anyway, you minus as many markers off of this as you want and get 5k power for the battle. I wish it was for the turn, that would be busted, right? For the battle that you remove from this for the skill. So if you remove 2 markers from this, you get 10k for that one battle. So basically, it's a super combo. So this goes with the endless combo part of the deck. Some people had issues with not enough combo power deck, so of course I had to throw in the endless combo engine of Goku. The adventure begins with 4-star ball. Oh yeah. So obviously we use this to get the 4-star ball, and then we use the 4-star balls to combo defensively. Could be used offensively, but we really only use it defensively. The whole idea is to, you know, always keep our defenses up and attack here and there. So there's the endless combo part. And then we have Broly also adds to the endless combo ability, because every turn you can just remove one marker and, you know, combo 5k at least once, right? Which is useful. Now this ability specifically only works when the leader gets attacked, which is not bad. It would have been pretty awesome if you could use it, period. Because I would want to personally use it with Deadly Defender Goku to keep him in play longer, because he, you know, makes it hard for your opponent to attack the leader, and that's the main thing. If you could keep Goku, Deadly Defender Goku out in rest mode, right, on your opponent's turn, and combo to get it strong enough to stay on the field, then, you know, you'll take a lot less hits, or none at all, which is the ultimate goal, right? Is to take no hits every turn and to go from there. I have a lot of, you know, ideas for Hatchhyack that I'm working on. Obviously, there's a yellow build I'm working on soon. But obviously, we always want to get Hatchhyack players, right? We always want to get to the perfect version of Hatchhyack, right? Which is perfect defense, right? No hits. No one can hit us. We always have 8 life or some shit like that. That's like the ideal thing. Or the ability to gain life. I'm telling you something about the future. Rejuvenate, a Hatchhyack rejuvenate deck is something I'm looking into. Right? You can only stop at so many attacks, right? You can only negate and block but so many times, and try to out combo but so many times. But if you can keep gaining life, that makes it hard for you to die, right? Hard for you to lose. So that's something, that's what I'm looking forward to into the future. So a lot of my builds are based off of that idea of like trying to get to that point, right? That optimal, the final form, as we like to say. So yes, a lot of my decks are not in their final form, but they're getting there. So those who appreciate what I do, thank you. For those who don't, well that's a you problem. You should appreciate. So let's continue on. Sure, already know that. Oh yeah, I mentioned you can, even with all my other builds, you can charge 3 black energies the first 3 turns, right, to awaken on turn 3, and then after that charge blue. Do what you want. The other build was, I expected to not awaken because I wanted to charge the first 3 turns energy, because I wanted to get to 4 energy by turn 4, right? Get 4 energy, so that way I can play all my unisons. Because I'll be playing my 2-drop unison on turn 2, use it for turn 2 and turn 3. Because I don't expect it to last long. So if it dies because my opponent's attacking it, or I just decide, all right, time for turn 3 for me to drop Raditz Giant Force, then I replace it on turn 3. That's if I drew the Raditz. If I didn't draw the Raditz, then I'm not, dropping it. I'll keep the 2-drop for a while. But if I get to turn 4 and I could play my 4-drop, that'd be awesome. And then of course after that, and then of course you only need minimum of 4 blue energy for Tragic Overground, so might as well start off charging blue energy, especially for just rescore using your Senzu Beans, so that you can use them as well and defend. Then get to the point where you ultimately can drop Tragic Overground. Now ultimately the goal is not to get to Tragic Overground then play the game. Obviously you're going to be doing everything you can to play, win, all the usual stuff. That's why we still have the burn strategy, to finish the game off through burn. But Tragic Overground is just there for really late game, like for when you're grinding and you need to be able to drop it. Because obviously we have no way of ramping yet. I'm gonna say yet, because of course that would be an awesome goal if we get to the point where we can ramp. We get some black ramp. That'd be nice. Get some black ramp cards. And then this strategy will be able to be played a lot sooner than later, right? So this will be hard casted for 9, but if we can, get some ramp cards in the black spectrum, that will help us out, or at least some more blue non-battle card related ramp, then that'll be a thing. It's funny, it shows that people don't really listen to my videos. Sometimes I'd be thinking like it'd be nice for my videos to be shorter because maybe they'll watch the full video, but no. From the analytics, people only watch the first 15 seconds, which means they're only looking at the deck list. Once I say the name of all the cards, or they just look at the image of the deck and then just judge it based off of that. They don't try it, and they definitely don't even listen to what I have to say about the deck, the justifications for why the cards are in the deck, strategy. They put no effort. Even when I make gameplays, most people don't even really pay attention that way. Some people might be like, oh, that's awesome, that does look cool, and then that's it. I don't see much after that. So it's like, what's the point of making these? Because the funny thing is, I used to just do just deck lists, right? I just show you the deck and then let you figure out how to play it. But then it's like some people were complaining, and this is when I was doing Yugioh deck profiles. So then people wanted me to explain the deck. Like, all right, now I explain it. People want to hear why, how to play the deck. But then it's like now people want, need to see the deck in action. Monkey see, monkey do, as it were. They don't want to hear how to play a deck and then, go try it out themselves. Want to see it played. I guess they think they can mimic somebody's play style. Or the whole seeing is believing concept, right? They want to see it work in order to believe that it works. But it's like, if you're good at the game, you can literally see that something works just by looking at it. But I guess that's a unique skill for a select few people who can do that, who can look at a deck and see that it's good. But anyway, moving on. You can awaken with this leader, with the leader if you want. It's however way you play the deck is on you. That's if you're actually gonna play it. That's another thing. There's people who complain and have opinions, but they don't actually do anything. Like, they don't play the deck or the game. I haven't. Most of the people that want to say something negative, I've never seen them play. I've never seen anything Dragon Ball Super or anything, card game related from any of these types of people that have something to say, and that's a little weird. It's like, okay, you want to complain about no super combos in the deck, but have you even played the deck with or without it? Like, that's the first thing. That's the first question. That's what really matters. Have you even played the deck yet before you even speak? And some people who actually took the time to try out my decks and play them know what I know, right? They understand because they actually tried it. You don't know shit until you try it. It's so weird that people nowadays want to act like they know stuff just by looking at stuff, or they think they know something just because they hear something. It's like, okay, you can build a deck however way you want. I clearly do. So the leader has the effect that you can only play black battle cards in your battle area, and the leader can't attack on the front side. Although, when a battle card attacks, the player who attacked with the battle card can't attack with tokens or battle cards with energy cost 7 or less other than the card they played for the duration of the turn. So anything above 7 cost can still attack, but anything 7 or less cannot, including tokens. Active main, once per turn, place the top card of your deck under this card, place the top card of your deck into the drop, and then draw a card. So you'll be taking 3 cards off the top of your deck for the first 3 turns if you're triggering this effect. And in order to awaken, if you only have black cards in your energy, choose 3 cards under this card and place them into the owner's drop area. You may draw 1 card and flip this card over. What's interesting, I had a thought before, is like, would results of training be useful with this leader? Like, even if you have blue energy, could you still results of training this leader? because I would like to assume that what it does is it just allows you to flip the card over. Not necessarily you have to meet the actual, full on conditions. You just awaken and that's it. So that'd be kind of cool to, if that's the case, because then, yeah, you can charge blue, first couple turns, right, and play out the results of training and awaken anyway. So that way you can awaken even though you didn't awaken from his original effect. So that's something I was thinking about, because it would have been, because one results of training would have been a blue card, blue energy, right, to help with Tragedy Overground and just playing your blue cards in general. And then, of course, being able to awaken will be useful because a 20k, body to swing every turn plus drawing will obviously be useful. Plus, being 15 helps in situations where you can't negate or block. Being 15 and comboing from 15, it's just a better outcome than trying to defend a 10k. It's better to try to defend a 15k, right? So there's that. Anyway, as I said, you awaken, and on the wake side, you still can't play anything that's not black battle cards. You can only play black battle cards in your battle area. You can play anything else, but only black battle cards in your battle area. And all the same auto as the front and second auto. When this card attacks, gain 5k power for the duration of the turn and draw one card. One thing I always wanted for this leader, because of that duration for the turn thing, and that auto's not once per turn, the ability to to restand it and attack. So being able to give it dual attack would be nice. So that'd be kind of cool in the future. We get like a card that lets us restand the leader so that we can attack with it, get the extra 5k boost, so it'll be 25k on the second swing, right, and draw again. So that'd be kind of cool. So moving on, we have Oceanus. She's a blocker with counterattack, so choose one card from your hand, discard it, negate an attack, and play this card. If you played a card, your opponent, before playing this card, right, your opponent can't attack for the turn unless they place top 4 cards of the deck into the drop area. So it will help make them mill, which you can win, obviously through milling your opponent out. This is a 60 card deck, so the chances of you outlasting your deck, outlasting their deck, is a lot higher. Permanent during your opponent's turn, reduce the cost of this card by 3, so it costs 2 to play on your opponent's turn, but this still is a 5 drop. But it only costs 2 for you to play on your opponent's turn, and that's the only abilities we get out of this card. So it's a blocker, right, which is useful because negating an attack and then being able to block an attack and stop 2 attacks. And typically your opponent will have a minimum of 3 attacks, which is a leader swing, unison swing, and a battle card swing, right? Always trying to minimize how many times they can attack, so that way that minimizes how many times we have to block or negate or out combo, right? We're always trying to take no damage, and we're always trying to survive. Try to get an extra turn, an extra turn, an extra turn, right? That's our strategy. That's the name of the game. And then chip away at our opponent's life points until we win, right? Or they deck out and we win that way as well. We have Senshin Run Negative Energy Explosion, which has Deflect and Barrier, and it's a double strike blocker. So being a barrier blocker is obviously very useful. They haven't deflected this nice, so you don't have to worry about guys hitting trunks. And it's double strike, so you could use it as a finisher, or just use it to kill unisons, or at least apply pressures on unisons, knock off a couple markers here and there. And we get the main active battle ability. Once per turn, Spirit boosts 1, so that we remove 1 marker from our unison to activate this effect. Switch this card to active mode, and your opponent places the top card of their deck into the drop area. And then the rest of the effect we don't use, because there's no Shadow Dragon extra cards in the deck. So, he's a blocker, right? So you can block with, active battle part of the effect. You can block with it. trigger is active battle, take a marker off of one of your unisons, and then restand it so that way you could use it to block again. So you can get 2 blocks off of it, off of spirit boosting 1. So knocking 1 marker off of a unison will give you 2, the ability to block twice. And of course, if you have Reddits as the unison, it already can block 2 attacks, right? Because once you trigger his blocker skill, you can restand it. With his restand it, put it back into active mode with the auto, so you can block the second attack. So you could block 2 attacks with this, remove a marker with this card's spirit boost ability, and be able to block with this. So you can block 4 attacks just with these 2 cards alone. Unlike most other cards that have, like the other unisons that have plus, marker abilities. This one doesn't. This only has minus ability. But obviously, if we had more spirit boosts, if we had like a blocker unison that you can give markers. There are some other ones. I prefer Reddit. That's just a preference because you already can block 2 attacks. Because if I'm right, there's thinking about it right now. There's a Zamasu? No, Goku Black. There's a Goku Black Road or something. He has the ability to plus, and he's a blocker. If I'm right, so that would be a good blocker. You will only be able to do, block 3 attacks, but blocking 3 attacks is more than enough. But with this, you could do 4, so I like the idea of getting that extra ability to block. The fact that this can block twice for free, essentially, as long as I'm blocking the leader in the unison, which is the whole idea of using Reddit, because he is 19k, so blocking the leader and blocking 15k unison. If the unison is 20, then obviously it presents a problem. Well, you will lose a marker. The idea is to try not to lose a marker so that it can stay as a consistent defense. But then we use this to help us, block. The fact that we have the 4-star ball will help us combo to keep this alive longer, and then that's reusable because we always use the Goku to add the 4-star ball every turn, then use the 4-star ball to combo to keep him alive, after he's blocking, and use his, spirit boost to get him back into active mode so we can keep blocking. We're always looking for ways to block it a lot in a single turn. So that the more we can block, the better, because dual attack is a thing. More players are leaning towards that. More cards are being printed with dual attack, some with triple. So it's very important that we have the ability to block more than once. Because back in the day, it would just be like a leader swing and maybe 1 battle card swing, because of this leader's effect. But then they create a unison, so that adds another attack. And then there's the fact that dual attack is a thing. Your opponent can attack more than once per card. So a leader could have dual attack, a unison could have dual attack, and a battle card could have dual attack. That could be potentially 6 attacks. So I've been planning, and working towards making sure I can block more than just 3. Trying to get to the final form, right? So still working on it. But right now, we can stop 2 to 3 up to 4 attacks with some of these cards combined, right? So that's always good. Moving on. Black Mask saying Splintering Mind. Obviously, auto when you play it, you can choose one of your opponent's battle cards and warp it. So that's some good spot removal. Always good to get rid of something that you don't want around. Especially, you don't want none of those Gogeta, you don't want the 8-drop because that has triple attack, right? You definitely don't want that in play. And among other problematic cards you have to deal with, there's a 6-drop Broly that's in the new EX Broly, so people call it, the new anniversary box Broly deck. You might want to get rid of that with this, just like you can use this Super Saiyan 4 Broly Unison to get rid of it. So we got options. And then second auto, Sparking 7, we have 7 or more cards in your drop. When this card attacks, send 2 cards from your life to the warp. If you do, you choose one of your opponent's life and send it to the warp. And that's how we, get to burn our opponent. If your opponent only has 1 life, you can burn them for game with this effect. Then we have Deadly Defender Goku, Barrier, 20k. Obviously, it's always good to have Barrier, because that forces our opponent to have to play Barrier hate cards. If they don't, then that's great for us. If they do, well, good for them, but hopefully they don't have Barrier hate, and we can take advantage of that. And then, 20k body on our turn. On our opponent's turn, when in rest mode, it loses 5k power, so it's a 15k on our opponent's turn when it's in rest mode. And your opponent can't attack your leader while this is rest mode. So we definitely want to protect this, right? Keep this in play longer. It ironically would, if you protect it the first time, if you protect it at least once, it essentially can stop 2 attacks, right? Because you protect it from the first attack, then the second attack is the one that actually takes it down. So that's 2 attacks your opponent wasted on it. So that's 2 attacks you were able to defend against. And now, if they only have 1 attack left, you should be able to negate that. So you don't have to use that many negates. So just 1 card is enough. And of course, like I said, Deadly Defender with 4-star ball, endless combo strategy. We'll hopefully keep this on board longer. Obviously, combining this with the effects of a blocker, especially Dr. Leche, this is a reusable blocker for 2 energy. So you can obviously block to protect him, and then that forces your opponent to still have to direct attacks to him. You always want to make sure that your opponent's not directing attacks to your leader. So that's obvious. Dr. Leche is a blocker with the auto that when you play this card, place 2 cards from the top of your deck to drop. That's mandatory, so every time you play him, you have to mill 2 cards. You only need to play 1 of them per turn, because you don't want to end up milling yourself out, even though this is a 60 card deck. You only need 1 pro tip. Do all your attacks first before you actually play him out. Play him after you attack, but before you end your turn. Because I've had some experiences where I will play him from my drop, then attack, and then somebody plays like a negate or something, like say Dormant Potential. I think it's called, right? Dormant Potential. Yeah, Dormant Potential. And then just pop my Dr. Leche. And it's like, damn, now I don't have it to block. So attack first, then that. I had a scenario where Zamasu, the super combo, I swung while this was on the field. They tapped this down with the Zamasu effect. It's like, damn it. And there's so many different ways this could get dealt with during my turn if I play before I attack. So attack first, so that, and then after battle's over, then play Dr. Leche, so you have a better chance. Because I'd rather my opponent, remove it on their turn than to remove it on my turn, and then on their turn they don't have to worry about it. Rather they tap energy and do stuff on their turn to get rid of it. So don't make it easy for your opponent, make it hard for them, right? That's the idea. Easy for you, hard for them. And then he has the active main, of course. You pay 2 energy. Since your leader card is a black machine mutant, you can play this from your drop area, so makes him a reusable blocker, which is awesome. Which is they made more reusable blockers. We got Goku making an entrance, counter attack, negate an attack, and play this card. So 1 energy negate. He's a 1-drop, so of course he has synergy with Power Burst. He has 0 combo power, so keep that in mind. But we do have at least 20. At least we have 28 cards that do have combo power in the deck, so that's more than the previous build. The previous build only had 20 combo. Only had 20 cards that had combo power. But 40 cards that didn't. that was a problem. So now we bumped it up to at least 28 potential combo power. So it's close to half the deck has combo power, half doesn't. But I know some people still complain regardless. But this is the little endless combo engine. So this will make up for the lack combo power. I mean, this has always been good enough for me. But anyway, Goku making an entrance. Goku the adventure begins. Active main, once per turn, choose up to 1 4-star ball from your deck or drop area and add it to your hand. Shuffle your deck if you look through it. That's the only effect you're getting out of it. If you have multiple copies of this in play, you can activate all their effects and get a 4-star ball for each copy. Which is always good to have multiple copies of this in play, because having multiple 4-star balls means multiple ability to combo with it. Because the 4-star ball has the effect of active battle. Choose up to 1 of your battle cards or leader cards. And it gets 5k power for the duration of the battle. And if you use this on a skillless battle card, it will get an extra 5k boost. So if you're ever in a scenario where any of your battle cards gets their skill negated, that's awesome, because then the 4-star ball essentially becomes a super combo for that battle card in that situation. So that's something to keep in mind. And then, but other than that, it's just a 5k combo basically per copy of this. But it's reusable, so you're not giving up any of your valuable negates, your valuable cards to defend yourself. And you're mainly comboing defensively. Don't waste your combo power offensively. The leader once awakened, already gets 5k on its own, so you don't need a combo when you swing with it. Plus you draw when you swing with it, which is always good to keep your hand nice and thick. And the 4-star ball just helps you to combo defensively, but so you're not losing hand size, because you can always add it back, so you're never negging. Also, another thing about 4-star ball engine is the fact that against hand destruction, you can discard the 4-star balls and then hand it back to the hand. That way, if, your opponent's rebrands or any other hand destruction effects will become useless because the 4-star. I've had that happen a couple of times where I had to discard the 4-star balls for like a rebrand effect, which was awesome for me. Shitty for my opponent because they didn't get no value out of their rebrand. So yay! Moving on, power burst. Negate an attack if your leader card is black. Choose up to 1 black battle card from your dropper or ward with an energy cost of 1 added to hand. We have 2 targets in this build, which is Goku the Adventure Begins and Goku making an entrance. Because you always want to keep this, this engine going, so anytime your opponent KOs this through a card effect or something, you can always use a power burst to add it back to the hand and then play it and grab the 4-star balls and keep defending yourself. Then we have the permanent Sparking 5. If you have 5 or more cards in your dropper, you can take a card from your life, add it to your hand in order to play this card for free. And this is not once per turn, so you can use this multiple copies of this in a single turn, as long as you can afford to add a card from your life to your hand. And we have Protector of the People, which counterattacks, negate the attack. Then you may choose 1 card from your hand and place it into the dropper. 4-star ball is good for discarding, keep that in mind. Also, Oceanus, when you use her, you discard, so 4-star ball does help with discarding, so keep that in mind. We had to mention that earlier. It's a good discard fodder, right? And then, what was I saying? Discard card, right? To play this. If you discard a card, choose 1 of your leader cards, and it gets the following effect, which is when this card is attacked by a battle card, you get 5k power for the turn. So not only can you negate an attack with this for 1 energy, which is good, is the fact you also get a Senzo Bean-like effect, but it stacks on its own. So if your opponent does have a dual attacker or triple attacker battle card and they're attacking you, or they just have battle cards they're 8 cost and higher attacking you, then this would trigger to inherently give you the 5k boost right? And then, you know, you can just throw in the 4-star balls to help you further out combo any attacks, or at least try to, right? So that the whole idea is to try to survive a turn as much as possible, right? Always want that extra turn, and definitely want to protect your life because you want to save it for Black Maxine Splintering Mind. The funny thing about this deck is, or most of my builds, it's similar to this. All my decks are pretty much the same strategy. It's stall, 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 burn for game, right? Stall, 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 burn for game. I'll pop, you know, attack with the leader, attack with a unison, attack with a battle card. Try to chip my opponent's life down to at least 1 or 2 life, and then use a burn effect. Use something that can burn my opponent for 1. Because this Splinter Mind is no different from the 5 drops. Well, I'll just say, well, effect-wise, it's just like the 5-drop Goku Savagery Awaken 5-drop 8 that I use in my Boma deck. My Boma deck is all about stalling, right? Stall, 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 block, 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 and then get my opponent down to 1 and drop the ape and burn them for 1 by critting 2 life. This, you know, is similar. This makes it where I warp my 2 life to warp one of my opponent's life, but it's the same strategy. So nothing too surprising here. It's just I use the same strategy in pretty much every one of my decks. So the idea is same deck, different skin, as it were, different packaging, and that's pretty much every deck. Everybody plays pretty much the same deck with like the same strategy. They just package it differently, but most people don't see it that way. But just wanted to point that out for those who don't notice. I do. You know, all my decks have a preset strategy that I use. You know, stall, 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 until I can get the win, right? Get that final damage through. First 4 damage is the easiest. The next 2 requires a little bit of effort. The last 2 is the hardest, right? Which is why I gotta have some type of strategy that can help me take away the last 2 life. I've been getting my opponent down to a 1, so that's been easy. So a lot of these 1 damage battle cards or cards that do 1 damage are useful. I prefer them to do 2 damage because that would make my life easier, but you know, beggars can't be choosers, so I gotta put in the extra effort to get my opponent down to 1 and then just burn them for 1. Senzu Bean, active battle, choose one of your cards, more likely your leader, right? It gains 5k power for the duration of the turn. Then you can choose 2 of your energy and switch them to active mode, which is useful because that lets you play other negates or more copies of Senzu Bean, or a Protect of the People, right, to negate an attack, and then get the Senzu Bean ability of Protect the People along with Senzu Bean, so it further increases your leader's defense. So there's a really good synergy there. And then we have, like, for example, you can play Senzu Bean, right? Untap 2 energy and use the 2 energy for Oceanus. So that's a line of play you can do. And then, of course, Oceanus ability will trigger. So anytime your opponent does attack, after you drop her, they will have to mill 4 cards. So there's synergy in there. Plus she's a blocker, and this, you know, does give you the 5k boost. So it further helps you be defensive. Now your opponent is forced to have to try to combo to do that. You always want your opponent to combo when they're attacking you, right? When they're trying to deal you damage. You always want to not have to combo, right? So, and that's where the endless combo comes in, because it lets you combo without actually comboing, if that makes sense, because you're always getting what you're comboing, which is a 4-star ball. You use the 4-star ball or combo, but you always get it back, so therefore technically you're not comboing. Because regular comboing is you're sacrificing a card, you combo a card off, like use Deadly Defender to get 5k combo power, right? And then it's gone. Can't use it because it's in the dropper. But a 4-star ball, you can always reuse it, so that's why I call it endless combo, which is a type of combo that I like. I hate regular comboing because that's just a waste of resources. A lot of times you lose just because you ran out of cards in your hands because you were comboing, trying to stop an attack, but then you have nothing to play on the clapback, right? Which is always shitty. MISCS Cohesion, counterattack. Negate an attack. Then choose up to one of your energy and switch attack mode. Obviously, you want to use this to untap a blue energy so you can play another MISCS cohesion. Keep doing it. So you can play multiple MISCS cohesions in a single turn, or multiple negates, because you can play a MISCS cohesion and then play, Protect of the People in that type of situation, or play MISCS cohesion, Senzu Bean, right, and then be able to play Protect of the People. Could even play a Goku making an entrance, or you do a Whis Senzu Bean, and then do Oceanus. So it just depends on how you synergize those cards. It's up to you. Your play style and skill level is a factor that always needs to be taken to account in building. In playing a deck. I can't put skills into a deck. You gotta put it into it. I can only give you the tools. The rest is up to you. Tragedy Overground. Field card. Permanent. This card can't be removed from your battle area by skills of your opponent's battle cards. Still can be removed by unisons, leaders, effects, and extra cards, but it's immune to battle cards. So that's always good. Right? Second permanent, when your opponent plays a battle card with an energy cost 4 or more, is placed into the energy area and rest mode instead. And then auto, when this card is activated, choose all of your opponent's battle cards, ignoring barrier, and place them into the owner's energy area and rest mode. So it's barrier hate board wipe. You're hard casting for 9, so pretty much you're playing this on turn 9 if you're gonna play it at all. So there's that. Reddit's Giant Force. Blocker. Auto. Once per turn when you activate the button, skill switch attack mode. That way you can block with it again. Plus 0 ability, active main, draw a card at the end of your turn, switch to attack mode. So that way you can attack with it, because it is a 19k body. Might as well swing with it, apply pressure to your opponent, and then trigger this ability to draw a card and switch it back to active mode so you can block with it twice in your opponent's turn. And, getting that extra card plus the leader, if you awaken the leader, of course, get that extra draw from the leader, and this, drawing 2 cards every turn. Make sure your hand's nice and thick. And hopefully you're drawing negates, stuff like that. And then it has the -2 active main ability. Choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards, return to the owner's hand. And then at the end of the turn, switch one of your blue energy to active mode. So that way you can play your multiple MISCS cohesions, or your Senzu Bean, or Power to the People, right? Or your Goku making an entrance. Always good to keep your energy up for defense. And this can bounce something problematic on your opponent's side field back to their hand. So that way they would have to play it again, or not, which is more preferred, right? SS4 Broly, Prismatic Birth. This is the end of the list, finally, right? Permanent, this card, for each marker on this card, it gets 5k power for during your turn. So during your turn, it gets really big. So it's a black card. You can play as, obviously you could play this in any deck you want. You could pay as much as you want. This definitely would be really powerful in a blue ramp deck, because the more markers this has, like the more you pay to play it, the more markers it'll have, right? So if you pay 10 energy to play this, right, you're literally giving it 50,000 power to its power for your turn. So it'll be a 60k. 60k with 10 markers. Right? That's a big boy. He is Super Saiyan 4 Broly, so that makes sense, right? Then he has the -1 active main ability. Choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards with an energy cost greater than their energy and send it to the owner's warp. So again, right, like I said, if people are cheating out some big cards, then you can use this to help you get rid of those cards for as low price of -1. Right? You could just play this for like 2 energy and then -1 to remove something, and have at least a 15k body. But think about it, you pay 2 to play this, it's a 20k on your turn. Pay 3 to play it, it's a 25K. You pay 4 to play it, you know, it's a 30K. You pay 5 to play it, it's a 35K. You could pay, what I like to do is, right, is pay 5 to play it, right, swing with it as a 35K, then minus 1 from it to get rid of an opponent's battle card. That way I could take advantage of the fact that it was a 35K, right? It's pretty nice because the fact that you can pay, I said 5, so if you pay 6, so if you pay 6, it's a 40K, right? You know, it's up there with an ultimate, right? And you can have 4 copies of this, so the consistency of drawing is always high, right? So that's pretty nice. And then it has a really cool ability that definitely helps, you know, combo-wise in this deck, is it's auto, when your leader card is attacked, notice it's not color specific, just a leader card, right, is attacked, you may have it gain 5K power for the battle. I wish it was for the turn, that'd be busted, right? For each marker you remove from this card by this skill. So it's a minus X, so you can remove 2 markers and get 10K combo power to your leader for that one attack, right? Because you can only use this auto once, so however much you pay is how much you get for that one attack. So the fact that you can remove 2 markers from this and essentially get a super combo essentially for free is pretty nice, you know. And like I said, if you pay a lot to play this, this will already be strong, so you can swing really hard at your opponent, and just removing 2 markers can essentially give you a super combo during your opponent's turn, right? To, you know, to help you protect your leader. So there's that, and that's the end of the video.